every third bite of food you take is directly related to a honeybee pollinated. We need bees. And as much as people want to say, you know, we need native bees, they may only fly a couple hundred yards. But honeybees will go, you know, a couple miles or more to pollinate. Pollination is the act of an insect or anything that moves the pollen from the flower to the stigma or creates the act of fertilization in that flower, which creates the fruit or the vegetable or the nut. In the US, we have over 4,000 species of bees, one of those being the honeybee. The honeybee alone pollinates 80% of all flowers, plants in the US, which includes 130 different fruits and vegetables that, you know, we as consumers like to eat. So the need for managed honeybees is huge. When you think of one species out of 4,000 does 80% of the pollination work in the country, you know, it's like, wow. But in order to have those bees to do that pollination work, you have to have people like us that manage those bees, take care of those bees, because we only do pollination from February till June. We're done. We have to take care of those bees the rest of the year. People say we need to save the bees, and I say, well, you need to save the bees and the beekeepers. The beekeepers, we're a small minority of people in the US. I mean, probably under 2,000 really commercial beekeepers in the country that do all the pollination work.
An apiary is just the term we use for a collection of hives, right? You can have multiple hives or colonies or a single colony. You are a beekeeper, but you are in charge of running an apiary. Here at Kutiks, we're one of the most diverse apiaries in the country. And what that means is that we touch on all points, really, of running an apiary. From pollination to raising nukes and queens. We're the largest producer on the East Coast, and we sell across the country. We also do honey production, and then we have a retail space that caters to beekeepers, both large and small, and focusing on education, which is really a passion that we have here as well. We're trying to figure out things like the synergies between fungicides and pesticides and nicotinoids and all the things that are on the label, but that are also not necessarily listed on label, and how they work together. We work with a lot of different organizations as well, things like the Bee Informed Partnership. They come in and really confirm our findings for how healthy our bees are, how hygienic our queens are, and what that production looks like. And they're really vital to having solid information across the country to what a healthy bee population looks like. This is our extraction building, and what takes place here is we have semi-loads of honey, hopefully on a good season when there's a really decent crop of honey to be harvested. It will arrive here, be loaded off of the truck into 2 hot rooms that we have that keep it at about 100 degrees or below. From there, it comes into our extraction room here by the pallet. It goes on a little turntable. From that turntable, it goes onto an auger. And what the auger does is it breaks up the propolis and the wax on the top and the bottom of the box so that the frames can be easily lifted up out of it. Moves over to the uncapper. The uncapper raises the box and the frames up. It catches on a little lip, and then it feeds through the uncapper, which shaves off the top of the wax cappings and allows the honey to flow out really easily. This is just a beautiful wax capping that's nice and clean and new. We know that this is new wax because of the coloration. It's nice and light. As comb ages and has been used, it tends to darken over time. So this is nice and new and light colored and beautiful. And essentially this portion over here that hasn't been capped fully is what it looks like when it comes out the other end of the uncapper. Then it goes through a spinner, and with about 17,000 nucleus colonies on average at the height of production, as well as full-size colonies, it takes a very long time to harvest that amount of honey. So with this system, we can designate one crew to strictly do that for as long as it takes, which can be up to a few months. Goes through that spinner, then the frames come out the other side, the honey exits and goes through a heat exchange, which helps separate the honey from a bit of the propolis or wax that might be left over. Then it goes into a little spinner, the propolis and wax fall at the bottom and the honey spun to the outside, pumped up and out into a bulk tank. And that's that.